Good evening. We can call to order the meeting of the Recreation Advisory Board. If we can briefly get a roll call. John Reardon is present. Let's see. Where's my little list? Vice Chair is Dennis Siebert.
Here.
Phyllis Katz, not present. Shinoy Ragarai, sorry, not present. Sandy Rubin, not present. John Rufa.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Mr. Brooks,
Yes, I'm present.
present. Just in the nick of time, sir.
That's in the nick of time. Where am I?
And Leslie Leffler. Excellent, excellent. All right, first on the agenda is going to be seeking to approve the minutes from the prior meeting of January 28, 2019. I make a motion to approve the minutes, and if we can get a second.
I second that, Mr. Chairman.
All in favor of approval of the minutes?
Aye.
Say aye. All right, motion carries. Minutes are approved from the January 28, 2019 meeting, sorry. So next on the agenda for tonight's meeting would be comments from the board. Sorry, take that back. I skipped comments from the public. Anybody from the public that wishes to speak? All right. Next is comments from the board. I have no comments.
I'll go last. But go ahead.
Okay, anybody else have any comments? Actually, I lied, I do have a comment, but go ahead. Mr. Brooks.
Oh, good evening. Sorry about being late. My first year on the board, and it was fun, though I wish we were meeting a little more often. Hope it will be more fun this year. Hope it will be more fun this year, and I'll get a little more involved in what we do up on the board here. That's my comment. Thank you.
Excellent. I do have two quick things. Mr. Rufa, in his infinite wisdom, brought to my attention that we skipped the pledge because I was in such a hurry to run through this calendar. So let's certainly do that and make sure that we're compliant. That's right. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the next comment I have is, I received an email from an Adamo DeSisto, an engineer for the city of Royal Palm Beach, regarding a Parks and Recreation improvement grant that he is submitting, and requested a letter of recommendation in support of that grant project request from me. I drafted a letter and submitted it, and it just simply said that I support. It was the bike path, which is on our discussion list for today, but he did reach out to me via email earlier in the month, and I did provide a letter on my personal letterhead supporting the project. So, all right.
And I just,
Anybody else from the board that wishes to comment on anything?
I just have two at the end, if you're okay.
I feel as if, since Ms. Katz and Ms. Rubin aren't here, that somebody needs to bring up something related to the Young at Heart, or we will not do our service.
So I don't do them justice because they do an excellent job, but I've attended almost all of them up to this point. I think we're up to 480 members. 480 members annually, which is really good. They do their monthly lunches, so the first Friday of every month they have it. We just did the March St. Patrick's Day theme with a comedian, and then we're going to do a Caribbean themed one in April. So the first Friday in April is another one, and they're back over at the Cultural Center, so those luncheons are over there.
Wonderful.
And my two comments were, thank you very much to everybody. I attended the Seafood Festival, so that was a really, really fun event. And then I also went to the Pop Warner football banquet. So I appreciate all that they did, and they had it over at the Cultural Center. It was beautiful. They did their trophy presentation, and I believe the ring presentation is coming up later on in the year. So thanks.
Wonderful. Any other comments from the board before we move on to the department updates? Excellent. Department updates. First is Department Success Fiscal Year 2018 and 19. Mr. Recchio?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, if you look in your packet, you have a list of, we're preparing for the annual strategic plan coming up in April, and this is part of it. some of our successes we go through. We go through what we plan on doing or would like to see happen in the next year, then the next 5 years, and in the future, whatever we want to see in our visions of the village. But all that will be discussed, and it's actually like a three-day group session. And basically, if you look at that list, we have, I feel we have accomplished quite a bit this year. The upgrades at Veterans Park, if you notice at night, all the uplights have been changed out to all LEDs. All the bollards along the pathway have been replaced. Those were installed when we first built the facility back in 2004. The gymnasium at the rec center, we replaced all the gymnasium lights. Again, we went with LEDs, and a tremendous difference in the lighting that we have in the gym. At Robner and Commons, we added a couple of items out there to kind of enhance our sensory skills and motor skills for the kids. And basically, it's electronic. And it's almost like that game Simon Says. So you can react either to the light or the sound. And it really gets you physically moving. And we have 2 of them, one at each of the playscapes that are there now. One of which is made so it's ADA accessible. So somebody with a wheelchair can actually play this game.
Very nice.
So we're excited about that. The athletic fields, as you know, we were doing 2 fields every year, the soccer and football fields. We've done 2 fields at Seminole, which were the last ones. That has been completed. Penzance Park, which is over in Counterpoint, we replaced that playscape, which was installed back in 2002.
Being used, that's nice.
Yeah,
nice,
it's a big
Yeah.
big difference from
I've
what
noticed
we've
a
had.
couple times as well, went by it, that people noticed the difference.
Good.
That's good.
Also at Veterans, the waterfall, we were having issues with the pumps flooding out where they were in a vault that they were actually submerged underground, and we brought those above ground, and so they can't get flooded out and burnt out. And we had leaks on the basin of the floor, so we drained the falls and drained that pool of water and resurfaced the basin. Obviously, we established a rental fee structure for the new cultural center, and if you haven't seen the cultural center, you need to go over there and see it, because you can't imagine what it looks like. You can't imagine the difference. People are very impressed, and we are getting a lot of good feedback and bookings over there. We've also put everything in our parks, playgrounds, benches, irrigation pumps, the different irrigation lines, sidewalks that need to be repaired, and all the lights. It's on a GPS system. So we can go out there and we can put the history of each item. As an example, a light goes out. We replaced it on 7/23 of 2017. You know, so we can see the history and see what is in there. If there's a bench that needs to be replaced, we know the bench number, so that we can order it and replace it. So we can keep a history of everything. And it's really going to help out when we go through surveying damage from a hurricane. Again, we can go in and we just, touch the iPads. All the staff have the iPads to go out when they do their inspection, and we can hit all the damages and state it. And it all goes into a central location over at the engineering department. So we're excited about that. We've also got a software in our computers now, we can do inspections of all the playgrounds. Before it was manual, check this, check that. We can go through again, same system, check off what needs to be replaced. And again, we have a history in our database. God forbid somebody gets hurt, we can bring up that particular playscape, and we can get the history on when that was actually inspected, if there was a repair, what the repair was. The Christmas decorations, hopefully you've noticed, we added quite a bit on the corner here of Okeechobee and Royal Palm Boulevard. Not only did we have the palm trees lit, we had some figures out there. We lit the parameters of this facility, plus the main entrance down at Royal Palm Beach Boulevard and Southern, coming in the archways. Again, we had those lit up. So we're adding to what we've had just at Commons Park. And in addition, we've also had the lights at Veterans. We conducted what we thought was a successful Rocktoberfest, which is geared towards the adults, having, entertainment, and obviously we had alcohol. And we're looking to expand on that this year, where we will hopefully have 2 events in October, one that will be geared towards Halloween and the kids, and one for the adults, which will be the Rocktoberfest, similar to an Oktoberfest, and get some good vendors out there. Catering list, we've established a list of preferred caterers for the cultural center, because in order to use the kitchen, you have to be a licensed caterer. And they have to have all their proper license and insurances. And again, we will recommend these preferred caterers to anybody who comes in. And if somebody else wants to use one of their own caterers, they're welcome to do so, but there's an additional fee involved. Senior programs, 2 years ago, we brought them over to the rec center, which we thought was going to be temporary. Well, it has now become permanent, and they're going to stay there. So that was a huge accomplishment, where staff was able to accommodate all these senior programs, in addition to all the youth activities that we were already hosting in that facility. Along with that, brought churches, and now the churches are renting the rec center. I mean, we are busting at the seams. I mean, there is no room for us to do anything else. But it's working out well. Everybody has really become acclimated with the facility. Initially, when they came over, they couldn't wait to get back to the cultural center. Now they're happy. They enjoy it. And believe it or not, the interaction between the teens and the seniors has been outstanding.
Good.
They seem to mind themselves a little more when the seniors are around, and they're and they do communicate. I mean, it's been good, and along with that, I'm kind of jumping ahead. We started a program, a lunch and learn, that the seniors can come in. They have something to eat, and we bring in guest speakers from whether it could be a hospital, it could be from PalmTran, to explain their services and how their services will benefit them. And we've also partnered with the high school seniors, where they come over the first Tuesday of each month, and for about an hour, they actually sit down with the seniors, and they work one-on-one and teach them, the pros and cons and how to use an iPad, a laptop, and an iPhone. Because a lot of them know, the basics, but they enjoy it, and they enjoy that tie between the teens again and the seniors. The Winterfest, if you didn't go there this year, it's probably the best Winterfest we've had. We've added a lot of activities. We had a gingerbread building competition that literally took over the entire floor at the sporting center. We had a mailbox where kids can go out and send their letters into Santa.
Beautiful.
Went over big. We had an igloo that was made out of plastic empty gallons, like the milk gallons. And they were all glued together, and we made an igloo that you can literally, I could stand up in there.
Most people.
That was a big hit, but it's by far it was the best Winterfest we've had, and we're going to build on that.
And I don't mean to interrupt, but one of the things that I appreciate as a parent is that quite a few of those activities, actually all those activities were all free. So whether you're doing the arts and crafts and everything, so it's really nice that families can come out and do those as well. And I know the village had a table set up there, and we made multiple arts and crafts things as well, so thank you.
It was very, doing the community events that we do over the years, it is, Royal Palm Beach is a family community. You can put an event out there and say it's geared towards just adults. It's the family. The families come out as a group, and it's by far which makes us very successful. It's very hard, and it's difficult to separate the two. We have secured a licensed trainer for our fitness center, and you can get personal training if you'd like. We've secured a golf professional over at Commons Park. Again, we provided partial and full day camps for over 480 campers on non-school days. 2 children dance performances we held over at Crestwood. Again, we didn't have the cultural center, so we had to use the Crestwood facilities. We have a new adult exercise class, which has gone over very well. Our special needs baseball, which we've had for years, continues to be a success. And then our early childhood classes for 3 to 5-year-olds that we hold at the rec center has always been a success, and I'll be talking a little bit more on that. The senior technology class, workshop, I was explaining to you about the iPads and the iPhones and everything. The senior lunch and learn, senior expo at the rec center where we have vendors and different businesses, hospitals, doctors, services for the seniors, and they really appreciate that. We've added a multiple sclerosis social support group that meets once a month on Saturday over at the rec center. And then the Young at Heart referral program, which is twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. We have volunteers that sit at the front desk, the front counter, and they will help any senior that needs help on how to make contact with various senior groups, whether they, how do I get a hold of Palmtran? How do I get transportation? Helping them with an insurance claim. They'll put them in contact. They won't do it for them. They'll put them in contact with the proper agencies that are licensed and referred to us by Palm Beach County Social Services. That's become very popular. And then last but not least, we've held 29 community events in the village over the past year. Any questions up to this point? I know I went through a lot, but
I
We've
just,
accomplished a lot.
through the chair, I have I don't know if it's more a curiosity question. How does Christmas decorations fall under the dominion of Parks and Rec? Shouldn't that be Public Works? I'm just curious.
Well,
Events.
we've had that discussion. We've had this discussion.
Okay.
You know, we've always had them in the parks.
Right.
You know, we decorate for events. We do the community events. We decorate the parks. It was just an extension. I've already got the contact. I've already got, the contract. So we do it.
And-
We
and
do it
just-
all, John.
And just for clarification, it's holiday decoration,
Well,
not just Christmas, from what I understand. Right. Which, yeah, it should be.
Hey, Lou, there was like 20 lists of successes. What was the biggest one or two?
well, obviously, I think the first one is getting the cultural center opened and running, and getting the seniors acclimated to calling the rec center their home, because they've been at the cultural center for so many years. We really thought it was going to be more difficult for them to adjust, but they didn't. It goes the same for my staff. I think that our staff has adjusted too. We are really hopping all day long. And it's a good thing because usually during the day the kids are in school and it works out well. So that facility is being used from the time we open early in the morning to the time we close at night. So that's really been a huge success. Okay. Any other questions on what I've? Okay, what I do want to let you know that by the time I get through this budget year, here are some more things that will be completed that are not done as of today. Veterans Park will be refurbished. When I say refurbished, all the buildings will be painted. All the natural wood throughout the facility will be pressure cleaned, stained, and sealed, which has not been done since we built the facility in 2004. The sporting center down at Commons Park, it seems like we're always doing something in there. The third floor, if you didn't realize it, we have on the perimeter of that third floor where we hold a lot of weddings, a lot of graduations. The outside is we put in these plastic roll-up windows, and they're just not working. We are removing those. A lot of them are damaged, and what we're going to be putting in is stationary glass windows, and we will have two sections, one on the south side and one on the north side that'll actually be able to be opened. So on a nice day like tonight, you can open those windows and get a nice cross breeze through. In the center room has been petitioned off with glass, stationary glass panels and doors. We are removing all that. So it's going to be, the whole third floor will be wide open. And it'll accommodate the different activities that we have up there a lot better than it is now, because people feel like it's two separate rooms, the veranda and then that center room. It'll still, hold up to about 150 people, but people that know this is what we've been anticipating are really pleased with this. And then the outside of the sporting center, all the fascia, all the wood will be cleaned and painted, okay, as normal maintenance. Not a big deal, but we do have issues with some of our dumpster stations in some of our parks. We're tearing them down. We're putting up, rebuilding them with concrete block.
The old wooden fence just doesn't last.
No.
I think the one at Cats was The gates were
That's
gone,
gone.
yeah.
We've already, that's down and we're gonna replace that. The skate park, which is getting a tremendous amount of business. I mean, it amazes me. There's somebody out there all times of the day.
Great.
We are going to replace the wooden walls that we have that were put up when we first built it as a
Hockey rink.
hockey rink. We're gonna replace that and we're gonna put up 6-foot chain link fencing. So now we'll be able to see everything.
Does that affect roller hockey and when they play out there then?
They don't
Taking
play
the dasher boards down and putting up
chain link fence
chain link
because
fence.
they don't, roller hockey's gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
It really is gone. It's not,
You got equipment in the way. You can't roller,
Yeah.
you could rollerblade in there, but you can't really play.
no. We got security cameras going out in Cat soccer fields, Bob Marcelo baseball facility, and Farron Park. The gymnasium is going to be painted, which is in dire need. The ceilings, the walls, everything will be.
Wasn't that done in the last 4 or 5 years? No?
No.
I think Mike was working here when it was done last. No? Has it been that long?
The floors get done every few years, but no.
Because before it was the blue scheme, now it was like green and beige or something.
You're talking about 12 years ago.
Green, rose, and beige.
Ooh.
It was like a pinkish color. Not really a beige, right?
Oh, inside? Yeah,
Yeah,
like the block,
Yeah.
like the block we have out.
Like the pink outside, yeah. It was the ugly gym.
Also at Willows, we've got a picnic pavilion that'll be going out there. You notice out on where Field 4 is, which is that center field. In the outfield area, there's 2 playscapes. But we're gonna put a picnic pavilion in between the 2 playscapes, so somebody can have a family picnic out there. We'll have a couple grills. Commons Park, the shade sails that are in the banquet garden, they're getting worn out. Those are gonna be replaced, and they're due to be delivered the second week of April. And then out in Pine Road Park, which is out near Saratoga, we have 2 shade structures for inside the dog parks. So for people to sit in the shade while their dogs are out running around. So those are in addition to everything that we've already accomplished. Those will be done by the end of the budget year.
Very good.
Busy staff.
Very busy.
I hear they're pretty phenomenal.
They are. We accomplish a lot.
About number 17.
Hmm?
Establishing a silver sneakers program.
I didn't hear you.
Establishing a silver sneakers program. Number
He's on,
I didn't say that?
No.
Oh,
No, you stop at 16.
Do I qualify for that?
I don't have it here.
yeah, it goes through 19. Establishing a silver
Oh,
sneakers is
okay,
17.
Okay. My list was different. Yeah, the Silver Sneakers program, again, is for the seniors. It's an exercise program that is free. And it'll be held in different locations, whether at the rec center or walking around Veterans Park or walking around Commons Park. You've probably seen it. A lot of those clubs go into the shopping malls
Mhm.
and they'll walk the shopping mall.
One of your items was challenges, I guess. Finding quality part-time staff, I imagine full-time. Is there currently openings posted for the Parks and Rec Department, part-time and
Yeah.
or full-time?
There's, yeah, it's
And how many would
difficult.
that be? And,
It's difficult, it's ongoing. I mean, it's very difficult to have part-timers make that commitment. And you got a lot of them, they have full-time jobs, and
So a lot of
when
it
you really
is-
need them, it's tough.
This is the second, they're moonlight.
That's right. That's right.
With Palm Beach State out here now, there's not It's hard to get
It's hard to get,
the good
Anybody.
20-year-old.
and to get somebody, you can't get them, I don't want to say age is a deterrent, but you got to get somebody who's able to control teenagers. And that's tough. That's not for everybody. And it's also difficult in the Parks Division. You know, we got the swing shift, working on the weekends, working Tuesday through Saturday, working Wednesday through Sunday, you know. But there's a need because we have so much going on.
Probably have more use Thursday
On the
and Sunday.
weekends. On the weekends, correct. And then like we have Veterans Park, that park is constant use. And so we make sure that we have at least one staff person in that park from the time it opens to the time it closes. It's just become a necessity.
How many on your staff total?
How many staff total?
Yeah, part-time.
In parks, I have 22 full-time. And then 4 part-time. And in the rec division, it all depends, you know, during the summer, we bring in 12 people. And then on top of that, what do we have total? 12? 12, yeah. So again, with the summer staff, would be 22 there also.
All right.
Any other questions? This other list that I didn't go through, a breakfast program at the rec center. Right now, we have a lunch program that goes through Palm Beach County for seniors, and it's free. They can come in, they can have lunch, and they, you know, we have a staff person, Dolly Hughes, who entertains them with games and things. Well, the county is looking to add a breakfast program, and we're just waiting for them to get the proper staff in line to get them out here, and that will be offered. Also, something that's happened that's not on the list that came up this past week is we are looking to have a free food program for the summer camp. And it's put on by Palm Beach County Youth Services Bureau. And we'll be able to give the kids, they have to be under the age of 18, they can actually come in and have breakfast. They can have lunch, it'll be served, and they can have a snack.
Right.
And all we have to do is keep track of how many meals go out, and we order for the next day. So this is the first time it's going to be offered this summer. We're going to see how it goes.
Very nice.
Yeah.
You need help, let me know. Volunteers.
All right.
Question, do you have
Yes.
a question? Real quick on that, Lou, because I know they were doing it through the library system. So is that because the need has expanded greater than what the library can do, and that's why they're looking for outside? Or is it just gonna, this is what the whole county's looking to do and expanding with the
You know what?
municipalities?
The way that this came about was somebody had come in to see me that works for the school district, and because they have the meal program. And they wanted to put signs in our parks, you know, that, hey, there's a meal program over at Crestwood or wherever. So, you know, I don't have an issue with that. That's good. And we started the conversation and said, well, why don't we do it right here? You know, we have 100 kids that come in for summer camp at a time. You know, it'd be a great service. And they put us in contact with the right person. We met with them last week, and they're all gung-ho, and it's just in addition to what's already out there. Actually, you know, see how it goes this year. We may turn around and make use of the sporting center down at Commons Park. I mean, we have camps that come down there by the busload.
So it's more of the extension of here we have the supply and coming through. It's not necessarily that it is the demand coming in where the families are saying we're not eating or the children aren't getting food.
No.
It's just more the program expanding and trying to reach more. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it'll be a great service for a lot of these kids. And I think the parents will appreciate it.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Recchio. Next is the discussion regarding a bicycle pedestrian wayfinding project grant application through the Palm Beach County Transportation Planning Agency.
Basically, this is being proposed through the engineering department that they are applying for a grant for this. And you'll see that, that map, and it shows you basically putting signage throughout the village so you know where the bike paths are. We have a pretty extensive bike route throughout the village. I mean, you can get from pretty much to every major location, every park, whether it's on street or off street or a combination of the two, via your bike. And what we want to do is make sure people know that it's available and where it's available. And we want to put that signage throughout the village so people can find that, those various routes.
When is the grant being submitted, the grant application?
I think it's the beginning or first or second week of April.
And earlier, that was what I was referencing.
Yeah.
When the engineer, Adamo, reached out to me for a letter of recommendation.
Very good.
So, very good.
Thank you. Okay.
There is nothing else on the agenda. Any additional comments from anybody?
Quick question. You were gonna, oh, sorry. I just have a quick question. I thought you were gonna talk about the early childhood classes in the rec center.
I'm sorry?
The early childhood education classes at the rec center. What's the status of that? I know that that has been in the works.
Childcare?
Yeah.
It's, if you haven't heard, we had to shut down that pre-K classes. How it came about still baffles me because we've been doing it for years. But basically, the county, their rules is any child under the age of 5, you have to have, the parent has to be there on site with the child while they're in class. Obviously, we didn't have that. I mean, we do have mommy and me classes separate. And then we had the Adventures in Learning, which is like a pre-K class without the parents having to be in the classroom. Well, a representative from the county came and they says we're in violation, and we had to cease the program immediately. So we did that. And then we were looking into what do we have to do to come in compliance, which we want to do. And it's taken a while to get the information, to get, I don't know, we get mixed signals, It's, well, we have this program and the parents don't stay. What's the difference? We have Tiny Tots, little sluggers, little baseball, 2, 3, 4-year-olds. We have a dance class. Parents don't stay. Couldn't understand, okay, what is the difference? Bottom line is now we're being told parents have to be on site. So in order to do that, we have to have one point of entry going in. We have them on one wing of the building. They are separated from everybody else, but we have to have one point of entry so they can control it and monitor who's coming and who's going in that area. So what we need to do is we have to put a door in one of our corridors going down to the wing, and it's got to be then we were told a gate would be fine. We were told a desk would be fine as long as somebody is there. No big deal, we can do that. Move the exit signs, we moved the exit signs. We put alarms on all the doors like we were asked. We did everything we were asked, and in all honesty, we were ready to put the gate there, and then we were told no. Then the fire department, obviously, they did their inspection, and it's got to be a fire-rated door, which is an expense. So anyway, we have our architect who has given me a proposal, and I'm actually looking to bring it to council at our next meeting to add a project because it wasn't budgeted. But I'm looking to push one project out that really isn't that necessary. I'll push that out till next year and use those funds to do whatever renovations we have to do. And the least we have to do is put in a fire-rated door. We have to put some fencing and a gate on the outside where the courtyard is. So it'll be considered their play area. And we might have to make some alterations to our smoke detector system, make sure they're all tied in with the main system, which we have First Fire, our contractor, coming out and looking at that tomorrow. But we are moving forward with it to do what we have to do to move forward. But, you know, with summer camp and all that, I mean, it won't open up until fall.
That was my next question. What
Yeah,
was the plan
It won't
for
open
that?
until the
Okay.
fall. Again, because of summer camp, and we don't run that program during the summer.
Thank you.
Very good. That concludes the agenda. The only thing comment-wise I have is Mr. Raharaj is here. If we can mark him present. Well, it's better you be recognized as here than marked absent.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Yes, any seconds to the motion to adjourn?
One thing, Mr. Chair, our next meeting is April 23rd, and all that is a reorganization meeting.
Can we do it? Can we bring in dinner?
What does that mean, reorganizational meeting, Mr. Recchio?
Well, we have to get a new chair.
There you go.
New
That means
chair
you're out.
And new vice chair.
Okay, just checking. I wasn't sure what that meant.
Get out of here.
It's fine by
We
me.
need a second.
All right, all in favor of the motion to adjourn? Aye. All right, motion carries.